This is Mitchell Tortelli.
Yeah, it's fun to say that.
And he's from Kellogg. The timekeeper's right here.
It only takes 7 seconds to judge someone according to the Association for Psychological Science. That means by the time I got up on stage, everyone in this room has made an assumption about me. I will admit, I'm not anywhere near perfect, but the perception that a person gives off during that 7 seconds could change the way someone treats you. This is just one of the many things that our group learned when focusing on theme 3 of the Frontiers of Exploration, Quest of Human Expression. We decided to focus mainly on how tattoos and/or piercings negatively affect someone's employment opportunities through a variety of fields such as manufacturing, retail, and medical. The one defining moment of this whole project was learning that the rules and restrictions of having a tattoo and/or piercing varied between the jobs. Starbucks, for example, is okay with a few tattoos, while hospitals shun the idea of any visible ones. Why is it that a job dictates how much a person can express themselves? Being a professional during certain responsibilities of life is great, but we're all still human on the inside. Our differences should be celebrated because we're all unique in our own ways, and there is nothing wrong with that. Honestly, if life was filled with people like me, our favorite pastime would be watching Netflix and eating pizza, which wouldn't make life very exciting. But the bottom line is that the way you see someone on the outside may not necessarily be who they are on the inside. The human expression frontier ranges in many ways from person to person and culture to culture. As Phi Theta Kappans, we are leaders, and leaders give respect to the people around them. So if you have judged someone based on how they look, I ask you to take a moment to talk to that person and get to know them, because you never know who that person might be, and you never know what can happen. Maybe you both like salsa dancing, or reading, or listening to jazz. That person might turn into a long-lasting friendship, but you will never know if you judge someone on the way they look. Thank you, everyone, for this opportunity to speak today.
What does Phi Theta Kappa mean to you?
I want to say that Phi Theta Kappa means a lot to me. I've had lots of experiences. I went to the Outdoor Center in Illinois. If you haven't gone, it's amazing. It changed my life forever. I went to Nerd Nation, and I've met so many friends and so many people that Phi Theta Kappa is not just an organization. For me, it was a life changer from the beginning. From when I just started out as a member, and I was, like, I'm going to run and see where it goes, to, what I'm doing today. And everyone has their own experience in their own ways and their own memories, and I cherish mine to the bottom of my heart, because the one thing that happens to me sometimes, and I brush it off, is I have friends who go to universities and they're like, oh, community college, like, oh, that's cool. And like, no, I'm like, yeah, I have had the best 2 years of my life right now. I don't know about you, but I mean, I'm having a blast. So Phi Theta Kappa, to me, there's no words for me to explain it.
How would you describe the color yellow to a blind person?
Oh,
I'm getting deep here.
I feel like I might think of like the blue and yellow dress question, but like, is it yellow or is it blue? In middle school we did, in science class, there's a blind person who wasn't able to see, but there was a mechanical piece that was put into their head so that they could see colors and kind of see depth perception. And I would try to explain the color yellow as something warm, something like sun, something when you go outside and you feel the sun, you're on the beach, it's just comforting. Maybe not everyone thinks that way, but yellow is a very comforting color, even though it's not comforting.
If you had a time machine and could go anywhere in time, past, present, or future, where would you go and why?
Honestly, when we went to Nerd Nation, everyone remembers there was a physicist, I can't pronounce his name correctly, but Michio Kaku. And he talked about so many, to me it was like crazy ideas of talking to a doctor on the wall, and cars driving for you. I would probably go into the future just to see what it's like and to see what to expect and the amazing things, because as you know, from 10 years from today, I mean, honestly, I was using a CD player, YouTube was new, Google was new, so in another 10 years, flying cars might be a possibility. Who really knows?
If you woke up tomorrow and you had 2,000 unread emails in your inbox, and you could only choose to open and respond to 300, how would you choose the 300?
Can I answer a question back? Is it like my personal, or is it like Phi Theta Kappa email? Or like... I'm just going to say, if it's 2,000 in my personal email, the 300 going to be the real email, not the spam. So, but I guess in a general way, I would, of course, look for the people like friends or family or fellow Phi Theta Kappians that message me, because I check our chapter email like every morning. It's like a ritual. And try to get back to people who have questions and need to know more information, and then other things, just delete the spam.
Mitchell, describe how one of your top 5 strengths will contribute to the regional board.
I'm going to try not to look down, but one of my top strengths is being futuristic, and I guess to me it interprets into a lot of different ways, because you can look at the future in a good way or a bad way, or the future about yourself or the future about others. But whenever each day, you should always take a second and just kind of vision yourself for the future, because if you don't plan, then you just don't know where to go. You're just kind of flowing through life. So maybe being futuristic and having a plan, it may not be perfect, and it may totally go opposite, but at least having something in your head to go off from is better than not having anything.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys.